Welcome back everyone with another video where I'm going to be answering the other 40 questions remaining. Before I go on further, please don't forget to click subscribe on my YouTube channel, because nothing that I'm talking here is checked or seen on Google. Everything that I share with you guys here is mainly my personal experience in the aviation industry, that it's not 2 years, it's not 3 years, it's a complete 10 years. I have been working as a flight attendant in Qatar Airways for the past 10 years. I have lots of things to share with you. And as we have our communication established already through my Instagram account and on my email address, I certainly believe that all the topics that will come in future are going to be very interesting for you, are going to help you further on in getting the job that you dream of. And also to the cabin crew that are already flying, I certainly believe that this YouTube channel is going to be much of a use to integrate yourself in the new environment where you are in, or you're going to be starting in, and it's going to help you with using my experience, of course, to gather more and more information and to live definitely a happier and fuller with positive moments life as a cabin crew. So here we go. What was the most difficult decision you've made in the last 2 years, and how did you come to that decision? Interesting question, like all the questions. Definitely over here, the recruiters don't want to hear the answer, no, I haven't had any difficult decision to make. Definitely in our daily life, in our daily work, we do bring decisions. So please look for any decision, for any situation where you had to make a decision, as the question is saying. And what I'm trying to tell you is the recruiters are looking here, how do you overcome the process of decision making in terms of doesn't matter how hard it is. For some people it can be, I'll give you just an example. You can say my hardest decision that I made in the last 2 years was moving from my hometown to the capital, or living somewhere. And then what they are basically looking for, which tools did you use to overcome the entire situation that was hard for you? Because pretty much in the your next role, in your future role as a cabin crew, you will be facing situations in which hard situation in which you will have to come up with decision, and they want to know what is your capability to carry yourself with the moments that are not easy. And this is a crucial question. The answer of this question is crucial. It's going to give them the complete picture about you, of how strong you are, how confident you are to overcome the hard times. And over here, when you're answering this question, which no matter which situation it is, please show confidence and show that that difficult situation that you faced in your life has actually become a motivation, and that you actually, at the end of it, while you brought the decision, you are definitely feeling better, you're definitely feeling more confident, and you're definitely feeling thankful to that experience that made you today who you are. This is the type of answer the recruiters are looking for. Tell me about a challenge at work that you faced and overcome it recently. Of course, again, interesting question, and again, a particular example is needed here. We definitely face challenges in everyday, in our daily work. So you can always give an example of this question that you should have, for example, leave your office at 4 p.m. but instead of that you had to leave the office later on because you had lots of work to do, and you stayed perhaps until 8 or 9. That was quite a challenge for you. At the same time, when you come back home, you still had to do some of your work, answering emails. So how did you overcome that challenge? Was you divided the time after you come back from work, you worked a little bit, you woke up the next day morning a little bit earlier. Basically what they are looking for here is, again, a decision-making process in which they want to see, are you able to organize yourself? And when the challenge has been introduced to you, Do you run away from that challenge? Because many people, if for example, they have to work the entire week overtime, it's going to be challenging for them and they might quit. They might say, I've had enough and I'm leaving. So as I said, your next role as a cabin crew, it's going to be a challenging role. In this question, definitely they're looking for your capability of how do you face the challenges, and therefore you must show again here that you are strong, you are consistent, you are confident, and that you don't give up. You are a fighter, basically. If you show this ability, if you present yourself in this light, I'm very sure that the recruiters will be happy with this type of answer. A very, very interesting question. How are you planning to establish credibility with the members of your team? What is the credibility in first place? For me, credibility means experience, and for me, credibility means knowledge. I would connect this one, opening my YouTube channel and talking about cabin crew, flight attendants, and the entire circulation of this topic going on YouTube has been a challenging thing, definitely, because there's so many people who are so popular and who are saying, according to me, nonsenses. But I said to myself, our credibilities in this level are totally different. People who have been flying for 2 years and 3 years and have been working in economy and in business class have a credibility that's definitely lower than mine. I have been working as a cabin crew in Qatar Airways for 10 years, and my knowledge and my trainings are a bit much higher than those very well and very popular YouTube channels. So therefore, I think that when you answer this question, you should focus on saying that I'm gonna establish a credibility within my team by being a dedicated crew member that's going to be studying a lot on this subject, that is going to gain an experience. I'm planning to stay in this role for a long time, and therefore I strongly believe that when I will be progressing in my career within my team, my credibility will be even bigger in future. Therefore, show that establishing the credibility within the team, you will do it along with your knowledge and with your experience that is going to be growing every day and that you're really, really looking forward. So yes, credibility, knowledge and experience, definitely. Tell me about the time when you have resolved a conflict. Definitely you might have been a part of a conflict, but you might have been a mediator. So what the recruiters over here are looking for, what are your conflict management skills? And I mentioned the term mediator. How well do you manage yourself in this situation? For me, I had lots of situations in which my friends were having a conflict between each other. You can always mention this to a particular example, not related to your work. For example, two of your friends fight it, and what they are trying to see over here is, do you take sides? When you are solving a conflict, please show to the recruiters that you didn't take any side. Rather than that, you listen to the both sides together and you try to sit down and talk to each other. You try to mediate between the two sides. You try to introduce the two sides together. One will speak and say the problem, the other one will listen, then the other one will speak and say the problem, then the other one will listen, and then what you try to do, or you are trying to do, is come up with a solution, but not from you. You're trying the both sides that are having the conflict to make them to come up with a solution that they will both agree, because it's going to be very easy for you, if you are the mediator in the conflict, to say, right, from now on we don't fight, right? I agree. No, you must show to the recruiters that you were able to make the two sides come up with a solution, that the two sides liked it, and then they agree with it. Over here, if you show an example like that, the recruiters will be very happy, because they will see in you a potential leadership skills. So in our role as a cabin seniors and as a cabin service directors, we were pretty much trained in this matter, and this was an issue that we paid attention so much, because conflicts are arising on a daily basis in aviation. They're of high importance to be avoided, but when they come, we need to have a proper management of how to deal with the conflict. So I gave you an idea on how to do that. So show your mediator skills, show that you have not been taking any side when there is a conflict, and show again an ability that you are suggesting a solution that's coming out from the both sides and not from you. Have you worked with someone you didn't like? If so, how did you handle it? Now, in this question, definitely you should answer with an honesty. However, diplomatically, please. For sure that many of you have been working with people, with colleagues that they haven't liked, but you can always answer this question in a way. Yes, I met a colleague of mine, a friend of mine that was not just emitting positive energy towards me, was not talking to me, and I was really eager to get to know to this person because we were together in the same office, or we were holding the same shift together. So I gave this person some time. I was constantly being polite. I was constantly inviting him or her for coffee when I was going on my break. And then it came to a point when this person turned out to be the nicest person. So they're basically looking for, are you trying to do something when you meet someone that you feel you don't like or he doesn't like you? And how do you handle, or you just like running away? Oh, he doesn't like me. I've not been likable here, so I'm just gonna run away. For me, that's pretty much a challenge, because I can really feel when someone likes me, and I can feel when someone doesn't like me. If I'm forced to be with a person that doesn't like me, I would do anything for that person to change. In terms of, I'm gonna be double nicer than I am, and then at the end of the day, it really worked that person really becomes the nicest person towards me. But it's all a conception, because we pretty much misjudge each other on the way we look, on the way we talk. Not necessarily a strict way of talking means that the person is rude. A straightforward way of talking doesn't mean that the person is rude. So you should basically show to the recruiters that you give chances to people. And if you have any particular example and you have been able to overcome that example, the recruiters will be very happy with this type of answer. What sorts of people do you enjoy working with? Please don't say I enjoy working only with outgoing personalities. Rather than this, again, diplomatical answer will be needed. You can say I don't have a preferred type of people that I enjoy working with, because for me, people are people, and it doesn't matter of their personality. I strongly believe that every personality, every diversity in personality is very important in contributing success. And therefore, I do not have a preferred type when it comes to work with people, but definitely I appreciate when my colleagues have been hardworking, when my colleagues are initiative. I definitely appreciate when my colleagues are giving me a feedback on how I can improve things, and if I do something wrong, it's really important for me, for my colleagues to be able to highlight that for me. So over here, you are showing to the recruiter that you don't have a preferred type of personality, but you know how to appreciate positive skills among the co-workers you are working with, but yet you are not taking a side. So diplomatical answer is definitely needed in this question. What kind of person do you refuse to work with? Very strict question, and over here I will never say I refuse to work with this type of people, definitely. And so diplomatical answer again would be definitely I would never refuse my work when it comes to working with my colleagues, no matter where they are from, no matter what is their background, no matter their personality. But definitely, if I face a situation in which a co-worker or a colleague is displaying something that is definitely wrong in our job, or it's doing something that is definitely wrong in our job, I'm going to be the first person who's going to try and help my coworker in overcome a particular situation, no matter if he's struggling or perhaps he's doing it unintentionally. It's a very general answer, but yet you are giving to the recruiter an impression that you are not just saying that you refuse to work with people. No, you are working, but then you are at the same time very open and observant. This is the type of answer the recruiters are looking for. What kind of situation do you find stressful? Believe me, the recruiters are not looking for an answer in which you're going to say there is no stressful situation for me. There is a stressful situation for all of us, even for the recruiters itself. So you can say, I would say in a way that for me it's stressful when I have to do so many things at the same time. But I have my techniques of how I overcome stressful situation, and one of the techniques that I'm using in these situations is prioritizing. I am prioritizing the duties that must be done first with the duties that can be done second and the duties that can be done the last one. I make a plan. So for me, stressful situations, pretty much I'm managing with my own personal management and in which I'm using prioritizing tasks. They will be very happy with this type of answer, because you are showing, you're not showing weakness, you are showing the correct skills of a person that should be having while working in a stressful situation. Would you say that you can easily deal with high pressure situations? Again, diplomatical answer on this question. Definitely you can say, according to my experience. Now, if you're a person that can work under pressure, please do answer this question. But if you're a person that cannot function even with the less amount of stress, you should be answering this question very honestly. Why? Because in the aircraft, you can find yourself in 1 minute in 5 different situations that if you don't have ability to fit in that stress, believe me, you're going to be landing and you're going to be going home and you're going to be resigning. And most of the people, they do that. They say to the recruiters, they are answering this question that they can easily deal with the pressure situations, and after some time they just land and they go, no, I'm resigning because I cannot take this, it's too much of pressure. Yeah, but this is one of the questions that there is a reason why the recruiters are asking you for this question. Are you able to fit in with pressure situations? So if you're a person that can, definitely. I would answer this in a way that, according to my experience, what I have learned and how I prioritize things and my performance at the job, I pretty much strongly believe that I am able to, as the question is saying, that I can easily deal with high pressure situation. I use techniques in which I stay calm and composite. I'm a listener when it's needed, and then at the same time when I need to act, I am an actor as well. So believe me, when the recruiters will be talking to you regarding this question, they will be able to see and of course based on your resume, they are going to be seeing your work experience. Believe me, none of the question that is going to come up while you're interacting with your recruitment team is going to be out of the loop. All the questions will come from the possibility, from the things that you have written down in your CV. They will not ask you for your previous work experience if you haven't had any. They will ask you previous work experience if it's written in your CV. So therefore, with this question, please put the hand on your heart, think of what type of person you are, and to save yourself of that feeling, that hard time, that you feel it's too much and you really want to go, you can't take it anymore. Answer this question very honestly, and if you're a person that can easily fit in stressful situation, definitely give that answer that's going to assure the recruitment team that you are the person that should get this job. Describe a situation where you had to make a quick decision. Over here, they're basically looking for a particular situation that doesn't require much of a thinking, a situation in which you had to be acting, and a situation that is urgent. For example, as I said, you were on the street. In one of the videos, I think I spoke about it. You were on the street. There was a lady who wasn't able to pass the street. She was struggling with her bags. Were you thinking, should I go and help her or she can manage it? Or you just instantly, straight away, you brought the decision that you straight away gonna go, you're gonna grab her bags without even asking her, and you're gonna help her to pass the street. Because you've understood how hard it is for her in that moment to drag all those bags because the cars were passing by. You were afraid that the green light will go red and she'll be stuck in the middle of the when she wants of the passing. Sorry, my English keep on forgetting. So therefore, they want to know in this kind of situation, how fast do you bring your decision, and when you're bringing a decision, what are basically the things that you are thinking of? In this case, I told you a short example in which you acted fast. But therefore it's justified why you did that. So therefore, think of an example where you had to bring a fast decision, and the recruiters will very much appreciate it if you did that to help someone, if you did that to help yourself, and if the outcome of that situation was definitely a success. What do you enjoy the most about working with customers? We all have our different level of enjoyment when it comes to working with customers. Definitely, if you have been working in a customer field before, you will get this question. I will answer in a way. I definitely enjoy the diversity that is among the customers. I definitely enjoy the positive energy. I am a person that is always ready to help, and I really, whenever I'm interacting with the customer, I'm looking for that in situation in which I need to be acting, in which I need to share my knowledge, share my experience, assist them. The entire communication with the customer with me is based on the positive energy that I'm sharing and that I'm receiving very often. So one of the basic things that I enjoy working with customers is definitely that not every day is the same day, that I interact with so many people, and that really interaction with customers is fulfilling my personality. My outgoing personality is definitely fitting in with this job. This is what I mostly enjoy when it comes to work with customers. When would your customer service be better? Definitely, again, honesty on this question is needed, and I will answer like this. My customer service could have been better, definitely. The first month that I started working with customers, because I was very new, I was still very afraid. I was still hesitating when it comes to decision-making process, and I was still gathering a lot of knowledge and experience from my colleagues. And I think that that's the time when my customer service should have been better. But then, as the time was coming, I was very eager to learn and to gather that experience more and more, and I think it become better and better. But definitely, when I find myself in a new situation that I haven't faced before, I am trying to think of my past experience. I'm trying to gather knowledge from my superiors, from my colleagues, and I'm always trying to act properly. So I do believe that every new situation that we are overcoming is a great learning experience for our future performance as people that we work in the customer service industry, and in this case as someone who's been working in the airline. So definitely an answer of this would make the recruiters to have the impression that that when people are new, when they're starting, they're a little bit hesitating, but you showed to them that you very soon overcome that customer experience, and you knew that it was not at the best one, but you certainly have come to a level when the customer experience you've had now is satisfying the standards, the future standards for the future role that you're going to be in. Give an example of an excellent customer service that you experienced as a customer. This is not related to you if you have had a customer experience or not. This is just related when you were a customer, as the question itself. It says, for me, it happened just recently. I was in an Italian restaurant, and we finished our pasta, pizza, everything that we ate. And for the dessert, I really wanted something with chocolate. Unfortunately, on the menu, I wanted actually the chocolate lava cake. On the menu, the chocolate lava cake was not available. But what the supervisor did, he came, he said to me, could you give us some time? I will recommend to our cook how to make the chocolate mousse cake, and I think that he is going to be able to do it. He went and he confirmed that he can do the chocolate mousse cake with the vanilla ice cream that I really like, chocolate lava cake with the vanilla ice cream that I really like, because I'm pregnant, no, so people are trying to spoil me. I think I'll get used to this feeling. I'm just joking. And in another 5 minutes, the manager came and said that my chocolate lava cake will be ready in like 10-15 minutes. So I got something that was off the menu that satisfied my my desire for it, and this is something that showed to me that in this particular Italian restaurant I will always go back. First of all, the way they treat me, the personalized service that I got, and the fact that I got something that was off the menu, and rather than just telling me no, it's not allowed, we don't have it here, I'm so sorry, can we offer you this, I got exactly what I needed. So this is the type of answer you should give to the recruiters. If you have had a customer experience, you might be asked of a given example of an excellent customer service that you have provided. A particular example where you did something for a customer of yours, irrespective if it was in the restaurant you worked or in the hotel or in your previous airline, something that was off the menu, that was not in your power, but you went beyond that, you've created it, you've made it, and you've delivered to the customer. Very often in my previous job, there were different types of requests that the customers were wanting to have it, and with using our imagination, I would say we would create even the impossible, just not to say no to the customer. So give a particular example. One in the previous video that I have told you is if you have been working in a hotel and there is no car rental service in the hotel you've been working, but the customer have asked you for it, you took the time, you called, you've arranged for the customer the necessary information, and he was very happy. The outcome of this, the customer was happy, he went home, he complimented, is going to be very much appreciated, and the airline will, I mean the recruiters in this case, will be happy that you went beyond the expectations of the customer. Yet remember, this should be something that it's not in the frame of your menu, of the job description that you had, but you went something beyond that. How can you deal with an upset guest in the plane? Now, in Qatar Airways, the passengers are called customers. I know in some airlines they're calling the passengers guests. I completely agree with the term guests and with the term customer, because this is something that we are, the airlines are doing to make the passenger term and people who are passengers to feel more robotic and to feel more human. So now we will convert the word customers to guests. Whenever a customer is upset, you can answer this in a way. Whenever a customer or a guest is upset, I would first very much be open to listen what is the query, what is the problem. Later on, when the customer will finish, when the guest will finish explaining to me the problem, I will paraphrase to make sure that he knows that I have understood that properly. I'm going to be using sentences such as, I agree with you, sir, ma'am. This should have never happened to you. Let me take care of this problem. I'm going to be the one who's going to be looking for the solution. Let me talk to my supervisor and see what we can do about it. It depends on which situation, what kind of situation it is. But over here, they're trying to ask you how you're going to deal with an upset customer. So for the upset customers and upset guests, first we listen to what they're saying. We are paraphrasing to make sure that we have understood everything that the guest has said. Number 3 is we are taking ownership of the problem. The problem that the guest has now is our problem. We are doing something about it. He is not alone. What you need to do is you need to make sure that this upset guest is not alone, that you are there for him or her. Believe me, this is very much going to be neutralizing the stress in which the person it is. Last but not the least, you're looking for the proper solution yourself, along with the other crew members or with your colleagues and with your supervisors. And if you give this answer like this to your recruiter, you're gonna get the job. If I spoke to your boss, what would he say? What are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? An interesting question. Now, self-evaluation here is very, very important. You should know yourself what type of worker you have been in your previous job. If you're someone who has been constantly late, who has a lot of sick leaves because you were just not feeling to go to work, you were a party person that didn't care that tomorrow you have a morning shift, you were always late, as I said. So definitely this is going to be a very tricky answer, but if you have been a punctual, a dedicated worker, a friendly worker, you can always answer in the frame that you really enjoyed and you really appreciated the time you've spent with your colleagues and with the entire management where you were, and that you were a dedicated part of that team, always punctual. You've never missed a day of showing up at work. You were always completing your tasks on time. So certainly you believe that these three characteristics as a disciplined, dedicated and punctual person will be something that my boss or my superior will be able to say this for me. And therefore this I'm going to relate to your CV. Ladies and gentlemen, when you will be putting your references, please make sure that they're accurate, because very often airlines do refer to that references for the simple reason is so many people that have gotten the job later on are showing completely other personalities. They have been completely faking the entire process. So in order to save this type of situations in future, the airlines are very often looking for those references and are relying on those references. And therefore in this job, in the airline industry, there is no space for laziness, there is no space for rudeness, negativity, and all these types that I mentioned. If you belong in any of this group, you're not a person who wants to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning and get ready for the flight because you just want to sleep and your sleep is very important. Please refrain from going for this job, because most probably you won't be able, even if you get the job, you won't be able to fit in properly. What do you expect from the supervisor? This is one of the questions that I always asked during my briefings. I would always, before I say my expectations in my briefing, I always tried my briefing, pre-briefing to be something that the crew members have not been participating, because we had a frame of what type of briefing you should be. But prior giving my expectations to the crew members, I would ask them, what do you expect from the supervisor? So they will tell me, I expect support, I expect you to correct me if I do something wrong, I expect a positive attitude, smile. Even some of the crew members took the guts and said, I expect from the supervisor not to be lazy. I appreciated the most this answer, because definitely supervisors should work hand in hand along with the rest of the crew members, with the rest of the colleagues. But when there is a situation in which decision-making process should be made and should be valid why we have done that, then the supervisor must be there for the simple reason to state that everything that has been done in the frame of the job description that is for entire community. Doesn't matter if it's a supervisor in a hotel or it's a supervisor in the airline. So therefore, when you will be giving this this type of answer, always say that you expect from the supervisor to unselfishly share their knowledge and their experience with you. You are expecting from the supervisor to correct you, and at any point they observe something that you're doing and you're not supposed to be doing, you're expecting to be stopped and to be corrected. You're really looking forward to a feedback, and that you do take the feedback positively because it's part of your personal growth, of your learning process, that later on is going to give you a credibility that you are going to be better working with the team. So if you give this answer in this way, in this frame, I'm sure that the recruiters will be very happy with it. Then later on, as I said, once my crew members would all share what they are expecting from me, and definitely what they were expecting, they were getting. I'm going to say my expectations, and believe me, 99.9% of my flights were amazing, because me and the crew members, the team, we established a communication that was based on mutual respect, on the mutual sharing expectations and fulfilling those expectations. Do you think that the manager should be feared or liked? Very interesting question. I wouldn't take sides here. If they have asked me this question, do you think the manager should be feared or liked? I would say none of this. The manager should be respected in first place as an individual that is working with the team, and his role should be understood as something that is here to help, as something that is here to guide us, as someone who is here to be with us. So therefore, we shouldn't fear the manager, because fearing the manager would definitely put some boundaries and barriers which will not be affected. But at the same time, the manager shouldn't be liked, because if we like too much the manager, then we can allow the manager to be lazy, to make so much of mistakes. I think we should, in first place, respect the manager and work hand in hand along with the manager, he or she with us, and us as a team with him or her. This is the type of answer that you should give. What motivates you to do the best in the job? We all have different motivation when it comes to work with customers. Therefore, you should find the suitable answer that lies within you. Some of you would say that my personal motivation is the destinations, and this is something that most people will be saying, oh, I'm very motivated because I'm going to be traveling to so many destinations, or I'm pretty much motivated because I'm going to be meeting people from all over the world, or I am very motivated that I'm going to be living in Doha and I'm going to be living among so many cultures. So we all have different motivation. What I would say is the future success of the airline is something that is motivating me, is going to be motivating me to get this job, because taking a pride in success of the best airline in the world and being part of it, I think there would be no bigger motivation for me. And this is the type of answer that I think the recruiters will be wowed, because you are saying something that is totally different what the rest of the people are saying, and what you are mentioning here is the value of the company. If you could choose one, would you consider yourself a big picture person or a detail-oriented person? I wouldn't take any sides of this. I would say that definitely I'm a detail-oriented person, because I strongly believe that paying attention to details is always giving the making the big picture to look perfect. But definitely there are situations in which you should be a big picture person. So I would say that I am a combination of the two things together, because if you're too much of detail-oriented person, and you say, no, I'm a detail-oriented person immediately, then you give the impression to the recruiters that you are forgetting sometimes about the big picture, which is the common sense. Sometimes we need to be acting with a certain common sense. So therefore say that definitely you are a detail-oriented person, but at the same time you are trying to look at the big picture, trying to observe the common sense, the entire situation around you. Depends on which situation you are. So you can feel free to say that you are a combination of the two together. How would you describe your work style? When we had our leadership trainings, we were definitely studying of the different leadership styles, which were autocratic, democratic, laissez-faire, and I don't remember a few of them. But definitely, what you should not be saying here that you shouldn't be saying that I'm a person that wants people to follow what I say. No. You can always answer this question in a way, I am a person that's very open to feedback. I am a person who's constantly checking and double checking my job description. I'm completely enjoying of what I'm doing, but at the same time, I'm a person who really enjoys feedback, that whenever my colleagues and my co-workers are suggesting to me how I can overcome, how I can behave better in the future, in other situations later on, I definitely appreciate that. So my work style, I think, would be very democratic. I'm a friendly person. I'd like to share positive energy and to smile along with my colleagues. And yes, this would be my my work style. And I think the recruiters would be very happy with this answer. What is your communication style? Now, there are people who would be very limited in communicating. And this is very much seen from the beginning, believe me. Answering this question in a way that you are a person and you are a worker that believes in an open communication among your colleagues. So whenever you are observing something that is different in situations, or you're not sure about something, you are always asking, checking, cross-checking. So my communication style would be maintaining an open communication with the team I am currently, whether it's in the office or in the hotel or in your previous airline. If you say that you're a person of an open communication style, the recruiters will be very, very happy about it. An interesting question. Do you like to work autonomously or collaboratively? So on this question, I would say I definitely believe in strong collaboration among the team, because the entire job description of a cabin crew is teamwork, which means together everyone achieves more. Basically, what they're trying to ask you here: are you a self-worker, or you work better in a team? But you can always mention that if in a situation my autonomy has been asked to be in, or to be able to act alone, I'm definitely having an ability and I have a skills to do that, because yet you are showing to the recruiter that you don't take one side and you're not showing only one personality. Because as I said, in the aircraft there's so many situations where so much of different attitude is required that sometimes you will be required to be able to act alone, and therefore you should show that you're not afraid and that you are ready to face challenges. How do you like to work with your supervisor? I would answer this question in a way: I would like to work with my supervisor hand in hand. I would like to be able to assist and help my supervisor as much as I can, and I would like to learn from my supervisor so many things, because my primary goal to work for the airline is to become one day a supervisor, to be able to progress in my career to that level. So therefore I would like to work with my supervisor with open communication, hand in hand, helping him or her as much as I can, and at the same time learning from the supervisor as much as I can. And of course, obtaining feedback is very, very important, because I truly value the experience of my supervisor. So what you're showing here to the recruiters is basically what they want to hear, and believe me, answering this question in this way will certainly shine you up of the other candidates. 5 words that describe your character. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're answering this question, please bear in mind that whenever you're going to say whichever 5 words you're going to say, they're going to be immediately judged based on your personality. I will give you an example. If I answer like this: one word that describes my character is outgoing personality. I'm very friendly and positive. Do you get the impression that I am an outgoing personality and that I'm friendly and that I'm very positive? No, because the way you speak pretty much talks about your personality. So therefore, self-judge yourself as I said, when you will be saying which 5 words are describing your character, because the recruitment team is very experienced and will be immediately able to say whether what you're saying is true or false, or you have been following Julia George on YouTube and you have learned from her. So it must correspond with the voice that you use to talk, with the hand gestures that you have, with the facial expression. This is something that you must carry with yourself. So for me, I would say I'm a person that's humble. I always like to help people. I am immediately, when I see an elderly person, I am immediately going and assisting that person. I am at the same time a worker that is looking for exceeding expectations, because I strongly believe that wowing the customer service is something that is going with exceeding the expectations. I am professional at the same time. There are so many times, so many situations in which we should be acting professionally. I am very friendly. I do not hesitate to offer a smile. That's my I think that people remember me when they see me for my smile, because even if I'm passing on the street with a stranger, I would say smile, and I would greet a stranger, wishing them a good afternoon or a good morning. And another thing that I can mention for me is I'm a very positive person. I am always trying to look positive on the things. I have a positive attitude towards my customers, towards my colleagues, towards my family. So I would say these are the 5 characteristics as a person that I have, and which I think that are going to be beneficial for my job as a cabin crew. So did you trust me when I said these 5 things? I think most of you, yes, although somebody will click dislike on this video, but yes, we should be representing qualities, we should be representing what we are when we will say these 5 qualities about ourselves. Do you plan your day? If you get this question, do you plan your day? Your answer should be yes. You should plan your day, but there's always but. You can't say, yeah, all my days are planned and I have agenda for every day. It's good. Most of the days, yes, I do plan and I have an agenda, but at the same time, I'm very flexible when I am needed. For example, I would plan that today I'm going to be spending in the gym 2 hours, and all of a sudden my friend is calling me and she needs my assistance. So therefore, I am planning my day, but at the same time, I don't hesitate to be flexible. So both things, being flexible and planning your day, are equally important. Why? Because sometimes on your day off you can be called for a flight and you cannot say that no, you know what, I already planned my day. I mean, of course, if you travel abroad and you have already bought the tickets, then definitely you can always say, but you should be flexible in a way, or you are sometimes you are stuck in a destination, you cannot come back to the base because of a certain reason. You cannot just call rostering and say, no, I already planned my day and I need to come back now. You need to show that agenda. Definitely you do have, but at the same time you are a flexible person. What will you miss about your present job? When you give answer to this question, please don't say that what you're going to be missing is something that you cannot live without. You can always say that I'm definitely going to be missing my colleagues, I'm going to be definitely missing my job, but at the same time I'm really looking forward to the career that I'm going to be taking in future. I'm really looking towards my new role as a cabin crew, because this is something I've always wanted, and I strongly believe that this is going to make my relationships with my colleagues and with my friends that I have had in my previous job even stronger in future. So what you're showing to your colleagues here, that definitely there is something you're going to be missing, which is the communication that you had with your colleagues or with your customers, but at the same time you are showing to them that this is not going to stop, that you are going to be maintaining that communication, because you are, for a simple reason, you're a person who has valued the time that you have spent in your previous company, on your previous job. What are you looking for in terms of career growth? Over here, what the recruiters would like to see is, do you basically see yourself in the company as someone who's going to be working on a longer time, who's going to be having a career. So therefore, you should have a clear picture of yourself, of what you want to become one day. And definitely, when I will be answering this question, I will say that in my future career growth, I am really looking forward on gathering knowledge, gathering experience, being able to work and interact with people who are more experienced than me, and attending all those trainings that in future I'm going to be attending as a cabin crew. So therefore, I am really looking forward to gathering knowledge, which later on is going to give me a credibility to work within the team, the question that we answered at the beginning. And if you answer this question in this way, believe me, the recruitment team will be very happy about it. Who is your hero and why? And believe me, an answer that you don't have a hero, no, I don't have a hero. I'm just, I don't admire, I have no admirations towards anyone. That's not the answer the recruiters are looking for. We all have our heroes in life. For somebody, it's still Spider-Man the hero, or I don't know, this X-Men whatsoever. I'm just joking when I'm saying this, definitely. So for a friend of mine, when we have been talking about this on this subject, she said to me, my hero is my grandmother. And I always asked her why. Of course, she elaborated to me that throughout all the things she has been through life, she became a hero because she was able to brought up her family in a way that everyone is today successful. So not necessarily a hero should be a public person. A hero can be your father, your mother, your brother, your sister. Catch that characteristic of the hero in your life. Why your grandmother is your hero? Why my father is my hero? My father has been participating in 2 wars, and he has been injured in the 2nd war. And today he's a retired ex-police officer, and he's my hero because being able to survive 2 wars is something that it's not easy, and you fight, you struggle to come back in the real life for a long time. So catch that characteristic. He's a strong person. My dad is the strongest person I've ever known. I really say this, the most positive and smiling person. But catch that characteristic of why somebody is your hero and say it. Believe me, the recruiters will appreciate it. Not because who you're gonna say, but because you are able to value, you are able to appreciate, and positive characteristics of people are something that are going to be motivating you for you to become this type of person in future. Describe your motivation for going to the college or university you attend. You cannot just say, I went to university because my parents made me go, or I was going to college because all my family are doctors, so I became a doctor. You definitely should have a precise answer of why you went to college and why you went to university, and this will be something related to knowledge. You definitely wanted to upgrade your current level from high school, and you wanted to become part of an intellectual environment. You wanted to learn more. The subject that you've been in, perhaps it's customer experience. For me, it's criminology. Criminalistics and criminology. So therefore, my motivation to go to university is to get an academic degree in which I'm going to have a credibility, and I'm going to be a highly educated person, not only in that particular subject, in all the other subjects that we were studying, but definitely my motivation for going to university and going to school is gathering knowledge, and I don't think that has stopped even today and even in future. So yeah, that knowledge is something I'm constantly hungry for. What is the most important thing that you learned in school? We all have important things that we have learned in school. For some of you is mathematics, for some of you is literature, but for me the most important thing that I learned in school is communication. Part of my education during primary school, I was able to be in Canada, and therefore I learned there communicating and being able to learn things from different cultures, communicate with people from different cultures. So In school, I definitely remember of learning how to communicate with people, how important it is establishing good communication with people, and being able to form that first impression that later on makes everything so easy. Why did you choose your major? Why did you choose to go to university, to the particular university that you went to? And this is a question that definitely requires your straightforward answer. I would say that I chose to study police academy, to become a graduate criminologist, for the simple reason is that all my life I've been surrounded with people working in the police. My grandfather working in the police, my cousin working in the police, my auntie, my father. So therefore I couldn't imagine anything about myself than uniform and society and being able to identify when people do wrong things. So this was my major imagination, which later on, due to the other circumstances that were around me, happened to be slightly different. But I don't say it's wrong, but you should be able that you stick to bringing a decision process when it comes to choosing your major of something that was inspiring you. What you're basically shown here is, did you have an inspiration? Did you stick to something? Doesn't matter what is it, but you were able to observe something that motivated you. This is what the recruiters are looking for. Your resume suggests that you may be overqualified or too experienced for this position. What is your opinion? And this is exactly the case with me. My resume was totally, I think, not suitable for the job position of a cabin crew, and I was not too experienced in this position, but I wasn't certainly qualified for the job position of a cabin crew. But what I showed to the recruiter, my opinion was that my dedication and my discipline will definitely help me fit in this job. And therefore, if you are a person that has no customer experience, or let's say you are dentist, or you're a doctor, or I don't know, you have been in a field that's totally out of the loop for being a cabin crew, please, when you give this answer to the recruitment team, show to them that you possess qualifications that are related to your personality. As I said, dedication, professionalism, attention to details, exceeding expectations, punctuality, discipline. You are gathering all these characteristics together, and you are showing to the recruiter that this is going to be helping you to fit in properly in the job. At the same time, don't forget, if you are coming out from a different field and different background that's not customer related, don't forget that your CV should not be so much of accent of what you were doing before. Rather than that, your work experience should be there, your education should be there, but please pay attention to your key skills. They are looking for the proper key skills of this job. And if you show them the key skills, the characteristics that you have, that you really want to get in this job, believe me that they will appreciate this kind of answer. How do you want to improve yourself in the next year? Definitely they're looking for a certain vision of yours of what would you like to achieve in the next year. So you cannot just say, yeah, I'm planning to work for 1 year, make a lot of friends, visit new destination, and that's how I want my year to pass. You can always put a value and put put the success of the airline as something that is going to be guiding you towards that. So you can always say, for the next year, definitely I'm looking forward being part of a team that is going to be again best airline in the world. But at the same time, for the next year, what I'm looking for is winning more categories in the Skytrack Awards, winning in the category best cabin crew in the world. Therefore, you are showing to the recruiters that you are very well informed about the success of the airline, that they are the best airline in the world for the 5 times on the Skytrack Awards, and at the same time you are setting up a winning category that you are going to work towards, which is going to be added to the other categories that Qatar Airways has won, and they will really appreciate when you show that you have a mission, that you have a vision along with your mission to be working in a team that is going to be valued as the best team in the world. And this is the type of answer that I would personally give to the recruiters. If you had enough money to stop working right now, would you? Me? Never. I don't think so. I would personally answer this question that money is an important factor when it comes to choosing your profession and choosing your job, but definitely feeling useful, contributing towards the society is something that equally is important to me. So even if I had lots of money and enough money, as the question would say, I would not stop working, for the simple reason I would like to feel that I have been contributing towards this society. I have put so many smiles on the face of so many people, and this feeling is priceless. I think that no money can buy that. Show to the recruiters that you have emotion in you, that you possess emotion. At the same time, if you have this emotion, show it. If you don't have it, don't show it, because if you don't possess this emotion and you're saying it, it will look very funny in their eyes, believe me. Do you have any language abilities that might assist you in performing this job? I speak 8 languages now, so definitely you can just mention all the languages that you speak that you think that are going to be useful for this job. So this answering of this question depends only on you. If you speak only English and your mother language, then definitely they will know that you speak English or French and English or Spanish and English. But this kind of question, like do you have any language abilities, would come up from a CV where people have written that they speak so many languages. People who speak 3, 4, 5 languages. So therefore you can always say that definitely I believe with the diversity of the customers that we're going to be having on board, my strong ability to be able to speak Hindi, Telugu or Bengali is going to be contributing while I'm going to be doing the sectors of Asia. So I strongly believe that you should have a particular answer of this question and not just saying yes or no. You can always say with the diversity of the customers from all over the world, I strongly believe that my abilities to be able to speak Chinese will be pretty much used in these sectors. Do you have any restrictions on your ability to travel? Now, this is a sensitive question and it all depends on which passport do we have. Most of the passports in the world have no restrictions to travel from certain country to certain country. But if you know that you're coming out from a country where you cannot access another country, you can always answer this question by highlighting this and saying, I am from this place, but unfortunately, with our passport we cannot travel to this country. And this is a straightforward question. You are not trying to impress here the recruiters, you are just sharing the information that is valid and that is very important, and if there is something like that, please don't hesitate to say it. Do you need additional training? This is an interesting question, and you cannot say no, I don't need an additional training, I am okay. You can say, I strongly believe that trainings, all the trainings that Qatar Airways possess will be amazing, and I strongly believe that my personality and my background will be fitting in this training. So therefore I'm really looking forward to all the trainings that Qatar Airways is going to provide to us as a future cabin crew, and I strongly believe that Qatar Airways as a corporation is the one who's going to be deciding which type of trainings me and the other employees we will be needing in future. So therefore I'm really looking forward to this. This is a very diplomatic answer. You're not saying no, I don't need any additional training. You're very open to learning, and I think that the recruiters would be really happy with this type of answer. How will you be able to deal with working such a long shifts? What over here the recruiters are looking for is basically, do you know what it takes when you're supposed to work long? You're supposed to rest. Are you aware of the fact that you're supposed to be well rested for your flight? Very often people not being able to manage their rest properly one day landing from a destination and are going to resign immediately, which is completely fine. The reason why that is happening is the reason why this question has come up. Will you be able to deal with working such a long flights? Ladies and gentlemen, prior to applying for the job position of a cabin crew, familiarize yourself with what you need to know, what you need to do, and how you need to manage. Rather than sending messages, how is the math test, how is this, how is that, this is not relevant. What is relevant is to know, are you able to be coping with the long working hours? These are the things you're supposed to explore and learn about. Your sleeping management. I'm going to be publishing very soon another video with the sleeping management, because I strongly believe that every person who wants to be a cabin crew, every person that is a cabin crew should have their own personal sleeping management that will make you a happier person in your job, rather than a frustrated person that's going to resign and look for free life and I don't know, freedom. I read some messages later on after resigning. No, nobody is keeping you like this in your job as a cabin crew. There is freedom, but at the same time, being well rested for your flights is very important. So if you want to give a proper answer to this question, would be, I'm definitely going to be able to work long shifts because I'm going to be dedicated to proper rest prior to getting those long shifts. That is something that I am doing today, even on my previous job, and that is something I started doing from school. So for me, having a proper rest will be my imperative in order I can do the long shifts. What advice would you give to someone who was applying to become a cabin crew? Well, definitely I would advise, from a candidate point of view, I would have advised that if this is the job that they have always dreamed of, to never give up, to always look for opportunity to get this job. But at the same time, I will give an advice to please prepare yourself and familiarize yourself properly about the job description of the cabin crew. It's not a job where everyone can just apply. It's a complete different lifestyle in which, first of all, one candidate should be very much self-aware of whether he or she is able and capable to do this job. Once you have established this examination within yourself that yes, I do have the abilities to work long hours, I'm a person who loves working with people, I'm a very patient person, I'm very humble, and with loads of other characteristics, and I do have a customer experience, or I don't have, but I have abilities that are going to be helping me. So therefore, please don't hesitate to apply for the job position of a cabin crew. What over here the recruiters are looking for, if they ask you this question, is how much of self-awareness do you possess, and at the same time, how much do you influence other people of being aware of that self-awareness, because it's not just like anyone can wake up and say, no, I want to be a cabin crew, but has no clue about the job. Preparations plays key role in the entire process, in the entire presentation of yourself. So with this kind of answer, I think the recruiters will be very happy. Who is the chief executive of the airline? You must familiarize yourself with the success of Qatar Airways, but definitely knowing the chief executive of Qatar Airways is equally important as knowing the chief executive on Facebook, believe me. The chief executive of Qatar Airways is His Excellency Akbar Al-Bakr. He has been leading the company, leading the Qatar Airways since the year of 1997. And after he came on the position of a chief executive of Qatar Airways, the enormous success of the airline began from 1997. So therefore, please answer this question confidently, research a little bit. You can read on Wikipedia about His Excellency, and I'm very sure that the recruitment team will be happy with this answer. Do you know the latest destination where Qatar Airways flies to? Please update yourself when you will be going for the open day and assessment day with the latest destination. As of now, as of today, the latest destination where Qatar Airways touched down is Langkawi. Yeah, Langkawi in Malaysia. And the best place where you can gather all the information about Qatar Airways success is if you go on the website qatarairways.com and read about the destinations, the promotions that they are currently having. Definitely at the same time, one of the videos I have suggested to you, please watch the latest statements and the latest interviews of the higher management, starting with His Excellency, the Chief Executive of the airline, and later on with the other managers of the other sectors, what they said lately. And that is basically the latest information about Qatar Airways, which later on when you will be talking with the recruiters, you are actually setting the standards of the interview, of how well you are informed. And definitely they would really appreciate candidates who have taken their time and study the success of the airline, at the same time study the future plans of the airline, how the airline is going to progress, what would be the new destination, because as of now they're flying to Langkawi in Malaysia, but very soon it can come up on the website. Book your flight for another destination, for example in China, and therefore you can always answer this, yes, but Qatar Airways flies to Langkawi, and very soon they will start flying to another city in China. So that will show to the recruiter, as I said, that you have been studying the airline progress, you are interested in the airline success, because taking a pride in the airline success is one of the very important factors as a future cabin crew, and also this belongs to the current cabin crew as well. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, we have completed today 41 questions, and I have circled the 120 possible questions that you might be asked during your assessment day, during your interview with the recruitment team. This is one of a kind, long video. My 3 videos completing with this one are one of a kind. Thank you so much for staying and watching, and I'm going to be seeing you again in another video. Before that, again, don't forget to subscribe and click like on this video. Bye bye, and see you again.